Hello everyone. This past weekend I was in New York and I had the absolute honor to be invited to the international conference hosted by Business Today at Princeton University. Today I'm going to be doing kind of an overview recap video, and I think it would be really beneficial for people that maybe want to attend the conference later on. And I'd love to share my biggest takeaways because this weekend was full of reflection and thought, and it was a really nice break from all these internship applications and interviews. So I was really lucky to have gone and meet some incredible people. To give you a little bit of background, this was the 50th Business Today conference. This conference was held in the Marriott Marquis, right smack dab in the middle of New York City, like Times Square. And so that was really exciting because we had the conference during the day, and then during the night when you wanted to explore, you could just leave your hotel and bam, Times Square. It was a jam-packed 3-day conference full of networking and listening to keynote speakers from executives from all sorts of industries. And I think that was really most beneficial for me because going to school in Atlanta, there's only a certain amount of companies that I feel like I see on a daily basis, and those would be like big tech and startup companies. And so I think a lot of the companies that were geared towards this conference were honestly like in the financial realm, which was really new for me. So it was really great getting to learn about like wealth management and hearing from like Doug Peterson, who is the CEO of S&P Global. He actually just retired, so he's no longer CEO, but still, you know, it counts. I thought that was so cool because the whole time he was speaking, I was like, S&P 500? Oh my God, I know what that is. Like, I invest in that. We also got to hear from the US senior partner of PwC, which is kind of like the CEO of PwC, and Paul Griggs. Oh, loved his fireside chat. He is amazing. Samiksha did a great job. Loved his keynote speech. Loved everything about it. He gave so much advice, talked about his personal journey, which I appreciated. It wasn't more so like what he does in his job. It was more so how to get there. And I think that's one of the things that I look for in these seminars, because at the end of the day, we're in a position right now to where we are trying to get to that position. And so I think it's really helpful to hear from personal backgrounds, because he started off as an intern. So see how he grew from an intern all the way to US senior partner was super helpful. He also gave so much life advice and personal advice, professional advice. Loved everything about him. I connected with him on LinkedIn, so I was like, oh. It's really funny because I also applied to PwC as a technology strategist intern, and I thought I had a good shot at getting this job just because, like, I don't know, I thought I was built for it, but that's okay. Turns out I didn't, and I got rejected. I didn't even make it to the interview round, so that's okay, because if there's anything I learned from Paul Griggs, who is the best in the business, it's that there's honestly more opportunities, and don't let this one affect you. It's really funny saying this because I actually just recently got rejected from my dream position, which was APM at Google. And like, I just heard that I didn't hear back. It's just I didn't get moved on, which means I basically got rejected, which they didn't send me like an email, but like I can infer that I got rejected. So that was really sad. And so like I just have to take my own advice. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Like, oh, I know there's so many jobs out there, but like, oh, I really wanted that job. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. There's gonna be better, bigger opportunities for me. Whatever you say. But speaking of that, the CEO of Marriott, okay, wait, this is so crazy that I just said that, because speaking of that, the CEO of Marriott actually first started off his keynote speech by saying he applied to like 7 different jobs in the hotel industry and got accepted into every single one of them except for the one at Marriott. And now he's CEO of Marriott. So you know what? Maybe I will not be a Google APM, but maybe I will return back in the future and be the CEO of Google. Just kidding. That's thinking really way ahead. But like, no, seriously, learned a lot from him. I think his story of how he just, is it the hospitality major at Cornell? The ones like in the hotel? Yeah, I don't want to say anything wrong because I'm like scared I'm going to say something wrong and then all these like Cornell people are going to be like, yeah. But it's, okay, I think it's the hospitality major at Cornell, and he was in that and then transferred his knowledge to becoming the CEO of Marriott. But I thought that was really cool. I actually listened to this podcast called How I Built This, and I was listening to how the chain like graduate hotels got, how it first started, and I realized that there's a lot to the hotel industry. There's so much that goes on in the hotel industry, and the guy that developed graduate hotels, he had to know a lot about like real estate and talking to all the customers years, and there was a lot going on. So I can't even imagine how much work and how difficult it is to be the CEO of Marriott and how many like different factors he has to talk about. But I thought it was so cool because the conference was being held in Marriott, and so when he walked in, he was telling us how when he walked into one of the side rooms, all of the employees that were working at that Marriott like recognized him and like came up to him and started talking to him. So I thought that was so cute and so sweet how he, even though he's the CEO, he does make a lot of time and effort into the brand that he represents and making sure that he has a personal connection with all of the employees no matter where they are. We also had Scott Mills, which is the CEO of BET and Paramount. I also did apply to like so many different jobs for Paramount because I think I would love to explore the entertainment industry because I know I do a lot of YouTube and that's not necessary. I mean, that is a part of it, but like working with Disney, like Netflix, Paramount, like I think those would be so interesting to learn about and to see how the future of the entertainment industry is going to change, because he talked a lot about how AI is going to affect the industry, and he was talking about how like they need more directors and people with creative vision, because at the end of the day, like AI will be able to produce, they'll be able to produce all sorts of products, but it's like they need the people with the creative vision behind it. So that was super cool. Exciting to see where the future of the entertainment industry lies. He seemed really confident in it. And Jim Lee, the CFO of Target, also came and talked about like the consumer brands. I think consumer brands out of everything is the most difficult to I don't know actually, because I think watching a lot of Shark Tank and seeing people try to build like consumer brands, I think that is hard, because I think that's really hard to get into, but maybe managing consumer brands would be fine. Like Target, I'm sure they do great, but also I did hear about how Target tried to build their establishments in Canada and it like completely failed, but in America it's like booming. So something about that is like really interesting. But yeah, I think watching a lot of Shark Tank and like seeing how it's really hard for people to just like start their own brand of granola bars, you know? Like again, I listened to like how Cliff Bars was created. Like that's like a pretty iconic name. Even like Logan Paul Prime, their drink Prime, like I think they were successful because of their personal brand, not necessarily because of the drink. Right? Because think about it, their competitors are like Gatorade and Powerade, and I can't even imagine having to compete against Gatorade and Powerade as like a normal person. Like you want to have a strong brand and a strong influencer audience of people that would support your brand. That was just interesting, something to think about. And like different brands of cereals, like I don't even know, like it's actually really funny because I have cereal right here. I asked my mom to get it for me because I'm a college student who needs to eat sometimes. We also had a women's panel come speak with us, and just imagine the world's coolest, most awesome, successful, talented, smart women just sitting feet away from you, and they were telling you about their journey, and you could ask them any question of how to get there, and they would answer so humbly and just look you in the eye and tell you about their experience. I love this. And they talked about how to tackle the male-dominated industry and how to be successful and how to represent yourself so that you can get to wherever you want to be. They were honestly so inspirational because they talked about how they were successful, but they also did so while, you know, having a family, having kids, and having those responsibilities. And even though they had all of that, they were still able to juggle them all around. And that, to me, is very respectable. So go you. Love a good, strong, independent, knowledgeable woman. I wish them the best of luck, and I know they're gonna do so amazing in their career. So those were honestly just a couple of big names that came and talked to us as keynote speakers, but we also had the opportunity to go into small breakout rooms in like tiny groups of like maybe 15 people, and these were executives from, again, all over. I think there was a big focus on startups, the financial area, so like wealth management, consulting, like those investment banking. So that was really interesting because, again, I told you I'm not really familiar with these industries, and so learning from executives from them honestly made the career sound really attainable, but also like really interesting. So maybe you'll see me on Wall Street. I don't know. Probably not. You'll see me in Silicon Valley. But yeah, we got to talk to people from C-suites in literally any industry, you name it. Some of them, I will say there are a couple that stood out to me, so I'm going to tell you about those. There were 4 that stood out to me. The first one is, I wrote this down, Creighton Blackwell. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But he talked about building your professional and personal brand and how to tailor yourself so that you're seen as an asset, and how when companies are presenting about their goals, their deadlines that they want to meet, you want to make sure that you are in that room and you want to make sure that you are wanted. You don't want to be someone who is responsible for fumbling my words, for presenting a presentation. You don't want people to be like, oh, just send me the slides, like I'll look at it on my own time. No, you want to be the asset, and you want people to be like, oh my god, she's presenting, he's presenting, I want to be in that room while that person is presenting. So just making sure that you are an asset. How to build that brand, again, you do that by building relationships and building trust, making sure that you are able to help someone, even if it's not like, even if it's the most littlest thing, and you never know where a relationship with someone is going to take you in the future. I think this was really interesting, especially for me, is because I create content on YouTube, and I want to see how, like, yes, this is my personal brand, but I want to see how I can take my brand and cater it toward different industries, and how I can work with different companies to see how I can represent them. I know brand deals are super duper cool, but just like, you know, entering that realm and seeing how content creation, because I know that is a growing field, how content creation can change my career and how I can use it to boost my career and meet new people and opportunities. The next one was this guy who came and spoke to us, and he was from like the water purification industry. Again, these are industries that I have almost never heard of, but I thought it was so cool because this one especially was so cool because it just made me realize that I'm a business major at heart. Yes, I'm studying computer science at Georgia Tech, but I am a business major at heart. So basically in this class, in this breakout room, we had a case study. This was a real life example and of something that already happened, and we kind of took that and learned from the case study, but basically we didn't really know the outcome. So he showed us all the information regarding what was happening, and it was basically, I won't like share the details of the case study, but it was a real life case study that dealt with like the future economics of this company. And it was so fun because, like I said, I'm in the process of like applying for product management internships, and so I've been doing case studies like all day, every day. And so like I genuinely love case studies with everything in me. Like they're so fun to do, and having to do this in real time, because usually I just do them by myself, you know, like in my room, but having the opportunity to do this like with like so many different people and hearing about different people's ideas and then taking their ideas and building off of it, and just and we only had 20 minutes to do so. So to see how far we came in 20 minutes for a real life executive problem was so cool. And this is genuinely why I wish I was a business major taking these like collaborative classes, because my computer science classes, they are, you do your project on your own and wish you the best of luck. But no, I love the collaborativeness of the business industry and talking to different people and building off of ideas. So it's just making me want to do business. But don't worry, I'm gonna do my MBA. Don't you worry, my dreams will come true. Oh, and then the next one that stood out to me was talking to the founder of Percent, Nelson Chu. I didn't really understand what his specific startup really was about, because it was more so in the financial realm, and this is like an industry that I'm not too knowledgeable about. Even though I didn't really understand what his startup was or like what it was talking about, I did understand like his process to get to where he was. You could tell that he's like a salesperson at heart, because whatever he was talking, he really sold to me his product, even though like I had no idea what I was talking about. So learning about how important sales was, how to become a better salesperson, how to create your pitch slides, and how to pitch yourself to investors. And I actually connected with him on LinkedIn. I was like, please keep in touch, because I will be asking you more questions. Like he is so knowledgeable on valuation and pitching yourself, connecting to VCs and all of that. So certainly I am very lucky to have met him and talked to him, and I will definitely be working with him more in the future, especially if I have questions on my startup. He honestly, you could just tell that he was very knowledgeable, very passionate about what he was doing. I love the team that he started. He was talking a lot about the company culture that really mattered to him and his startup. You know, he talked about all of his mistakes and learning from those. So I thought that was really amazing to hear firsthand. comes from. And then the last executive seminar that stood out to me, this guy who was in healthcare management consulting. I didn't even know this was a possibility for a job you could possibly have. So that was so interesting because he went through, what did he go through? He went through his revenue models, and I was like, oh my God, that is a lot of money that we're working with. And I guess I should have known, like, healthcare industry, like, there's so much money that they're playing around with. And I didn't know, like, really just like sitting down and thinking about that and like watching him hear about his career was definitely mind-blowing. I definitely had a lot of key takeaways from this. First and foremost, I learned that there are so many different opportunities in the world, and the world is your oyster. Is that the right saying? I hope it is. The world is your oyster, because it's so easy to take what the skills that you're good at and what you're passionate about and combine them into your dream industry. I think the biggest thing for me is that I growing up with a dad who's a software engineer. Like, he was consistently like, oh, like, software engineering is like a good career to have, it's very reliable, very flexible. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And going to Georgia Tech as a computer science major, everyone's like, oh, software engineering, sweet. And I kind of just didn't even realize that there were other jobs available for me outside of the realm of software engineering. And I think learning about this, because like I like even product management, even consulting, like I didn't even know these existed. And so I wish I had known that kind of early on, because learning about all of these different industries made me more confident in myself and entering the job field, because software engineering is not necessarily what I wanted to do, and it still is not. It never will be. But I think like having a good technical background and building these technical skills and soft skills and leadership skills, mixing it into things that I'm passionate about, whether it be technology or literally anything else, I am confident that there is going to be a job for me, whether I know it right now or not. No worries. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, I know I started this video off by being like, oh, I'm so stressed about like the internship application season. Like, so what? As long as I'm doing things right, as long as I'm putting in the effort, there's so many opportunities, and it's up to you to find out what you want to do and what you're passionate about and what interests you. And as long as you find something that interests you, you'll be happy. Don't succumb yourself to what everyone else around you is doing, because I know I certainly have in the past, and there's always people that have the same interests as you. You just have to go and find them. Speaking of which, I was introduced to like a whole new demographic of students, especially students that come from like an Ivy League background, and a lot of the executives also had a educational background from an Ivy League school. And so that was really interesting to see like how their resources and how their connections have helped them succeed in the industry. I remember I was talking to someone, and we were talking about like, oh, the internship application process, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like really stressful. I applied to like 500 bajillion places, and it's like no luck. But then they were like, oh yeah, I'll probably just like email an alumni who's probably like the CEO of a company, and I'll just like ask to work with them. And I was like, oh, so I didn't know that was an option. I don't have the privilege to do that, but lucky for you, you go do that. Wish you the best of luck. That was a little crazy. That was very eye-opening. But like, all in all, it's never too late to learn about these opportunities. Like, at the end of the day, I'm 19 years old. I still have a whole career ahead of me. And so like, this is the age to learn things and meet new people. And I'm so lucky that I had the opportunity to attend this conference and talk to these such cool people. I'm telling you, the students that were invited to this conference were so driven and passionate about so many different things and creative. And I know that people are working on startups, and there's some people that are like, I'm gonna be in investment banking, and there's some people that I know I'm gonna see in Wall Street, and there's some people that are gonna be the next like CEOs of like some awesome startup. And I just can't wait to see where the future takes all of us. I know that this will certainly, and hopefully I get to see all of these students again, and I have a good feeling that I will, because as we all enter the industry together, I'm sure we'll all do business with each other. So that'll be super exciting. I had to get LinkedIn Premium just so I could connect with every single person on LinkedIn, because there's a limit to how many people you can connect with. And there were just too many amazing people to connect with. And so, yes, I got LinkedIn Premium. That we're still in touch, and we're sharing all these like conferences that all of our schools have. Like, I know Tree Hacks is happening. Like, if anyone wants to come to Atlanta for like a hackathon, there's like a Duke Business Innovation Challenge happening happening too. So I love that everyone's like sharing these ideas. It's so amazing. Lucky to be in this network of such driven people, and I hope to meet everyone again someday. But yes, I know this post was very LinkedIn. I'm sorry. I hope it reached its target audience, and if you're interested in applying to the international conference Business Today, I do want to give a huge 2 shout outs to Samiksha and Akansh, because these are 2 of my friends from high school, and they were actually on the board who helped run and organize it, and so they did an amazing job. So if you have any questions, you can ask them or me, and I can connect you with them, or you could just ask me and I'll answer the questions. But yes, I hope it reaches target audience of people that just love to learn and be and have all these super cool opportunities to meet new people and work on cool projects and hear about all these opportunities. So I'm sure that even if there's just one person that took away from this video, my job here is complete, and I'm really glad that I was able to help you. But thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope that there's more conferences like this I can attend. If anyone wants to ever invite me to one, that would be amazing, and I'd be more than happy to tag along. I really would. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.